flooding. That was a problem, along with what are called, what are those little,
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Foster City. We are the club that, and our secret sauce is you, our members, our teamwork and friendship. Thank you. So Jack Petrowski will lead us in the pledge today.
Please place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jack. And now for a brilliant thought, we have President-elect Jamie Cavanero. If it's not brilliant, it's not accepted.
I love when you use brilliant in my name. You're the only one. So this is a quote by, maybe you know this person, Rabindranath Tagore.
Rabindranath Tagore.
Okay, look what she said. He said, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Your words were as good as Rabindranath Tagore. And so if your cell phones are on, you'll be giving $25 donation to the club. Do we have any visiting Rotarians or friends of Rotarians? Anyone? Visiting Rotarians or guests?
Yes,
Jack at that.
yes. Can you hear me, Shiraz?
Guess? Allison? Yeah.
I can't.
He's getting you the mic, yeah.
I have 3 guests here from Bowditch Middle School. I have Alicia Aragon, Kayla Bowers, and Mr. Singh right here. And we'll be seeing more from them in a little bit.
Thanks, Allison. Any other table? Okay. So moving on then to birthdays. We have a birthday table over here. John Grant, July 17th. Patricia Nutting, July 19th. Debbie Williams, July 22nd. Steve Henry, July 23rd. Happy birthday to everyone over there. All the rest of you also get 1 year advance. Happy birthday. And for the spouse's birthday, it's Piming, Curtis's wife, July 21st. Happy birthday, Piming. So next is good news. Do any of you have any happy moments to share with the club? Greg? Thank you.
It's not a happy moment. It's not a sad moment, but I really need that. I'll pay for my good news portion of this, but Gigi and I are looking for a house sitter / dog sitter. If any of you have somebody that's been reliable in your inventory, if you would let us know, that would be helpful, because we'd like to use some travel. Ginny, yeah, I don't want to fly her down from Oregon.
And that's in the Mountain View area, right?
That is in the Mountain View area. And the good news is you can have all the pheasants you can eat.
I might come. Are you going to cook them and keep them ready?
The dogs will bring them.
Okay. Anyone else has good news to share? Okay. So I have one. Jack, thank you. So my son, my second son, number 2 son, first time travel abroad all by himself. And he came back safe and sound. He initially was sick and we thought it was COVID. It's not. But the main thing I'm happy about is this is a boy who never touches fish in my house. And when he was there, not only did he have fish in Iceland, but he had that fermented shark that they have. And he actually had that. So I am very happy my child is growing up. For Sunshine Report, this is just an announcement to everybody that we have a new Miss Sunshine here, Patricia Nutting. So if anybody that you know needs our love and support, is not feeling too well, then please reach out to Patricia Nutting. Thank you. And club picnic, we had it last Friday. It was amazing. Quite a few of you came, and we had 56 people who signed up. We had 2 surprise guests, actually 3. One was the president and her husband of the Peninsula Starlight. They loved this idea. And then we had the mayor of Foster City, Richa. I want to thank Debbie Williams, Paul Williams, and Ollie for planning and organizing this whole thing. So thank you for all the work, and our cooking crew. So okay. Yes. So we have another guest. Thank you. Thank you for visiting. He's our guest from the Rotary Club of India. Yes. Okay. So, and the cooking crew, a big thank you to all of you also. And do you want to stand up? The cooking crew who worked so hard over there. Can you please stand? Thank you. Thank you very much. For the summer concert, Cindy Sims.
Thank you, Shiraz. Well, we're looking good with signups for Friday night, but we need a few more people for the second half. So I got an update from the cooking crew. They're actually going to start serving at 5:15. So if you signed up for the first shift, I need you there at 5. So I'm going to send this back around. You can look and see if you signed up for the first shift. So you need to be there from 5 to 6:30. The second shift, 6:30 to 8. And so please take a look, sign up, because we have lots of people on this side for the first half, not very many people on this side for the second half. So if you can come from 6:30 to 8 to help, that'd be great. See you on Friday night, depending on what time you're supposed to be there.
Thank you, Cindy. Curtis, do you want to come up? And while Curtis is coming here, I just wanted to request all of you that your attendance, it's awesome today. So many of you have showed up and our attendance has been really good. The only thing is that if you can inform Debbie by Sunday, that would really help us in reporting to the Crown, because they are short-staffed and they would like us to inform them soon. So if you can plan a little bit ahead, it will help us in planning and it will help Crown in planning too. Thank you.
I am here because we have a few seats on the endowment board that are open. There are 2 board members that termed out, and then Deborah Wilder, as you may remember, transferred her membership to the Grass Valley. I forget what the name of the club was. I think it's the 49ers Club in Grass Valley. So if you're interested in taking on a board position with the endowment, please let me know, and I'll ask you maybe for a sentence or 2 on why you want to join the endowment board, and then the foundation board will be appointing those members. But please, if you're interested, let me know.
Thank you. And our new TRF chair is here to make an announcement, Bob Kaplan.
Thanks, Madam President. I am the new chair for the Rotary Foundation, otherwise known as TRF. We have a lot of acronyms, TRF. Each month when we don't present a Paul Harris Fellowship or other award, I'm going to talk to you about a facet of the Rotary Foundation. Today's talk is about one word, legacy. Webster defines legacy in several ways: a gift by will, something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or predecessor. Let's focus on the second of those. In my day job as a CPA, I do a lot of work on estates and trusts, and I see a lot of legacy problems. Just yesterday, I was talking to an attorney who referred to us a surviving spouse with an estate of over $30 million. The client had minimal legacy planning and no charitable bequests. Furthermore, the surviving spouse's only child wanted to put the entire estate into Bitcoin. You don't need $30 million to have legacy. To prevent something like this from happening to you and your family, I recommend talking to your adult children while you're alive about your goals for your legacy. Legacy not only includes inheritances, but money that is intended to go to the donor's favorite charities. We all know the wonderful things that Rotary does around the world. My suggestion is you tell your children or other heirs this story. TRF and I can suggest ways that you can give money to Rotary while you're alive, after you pass, all sorts of different ways, which I'll go through during this year. We also can ask you to contribute to every Rotarian every year. And we ask for a minimum of $200. You can give me a check made out to the Rotary Foundation. If that's tough for you to do $200, you can give me less. Including Rotary in your legacy can not only help your family, but the world. Listen to these comments from the Rotary website. My Rotary legacy will provide a better future for the children of the world, immortalizing my progeny's dedication to doing good. 100 years of Rotarian dedication made the Rotary Foundation success possible. What we do today will shape the next century of service. And finally, gifts to the Rotary Endowment ensure that future Rotarians will have the resources they need to design and implement sustainable projects year after year. Rotary strives to increase the value of your gift to the endowment by preserving and investing your initial contribution and spending only a portion of the earnings. So if you have any questions about the Rotary Foundation, give me a call. I'd be happy to help. Thanks.
Bob, we need some hats now. I think we're missing the hats. Okay, so we have Teresa Pope, our vocational service chair.
Thank you, President Shiraz. So as you know, I'm the new vocational service chair and I'm taking over for Rich. So those are some very big shoes to fill. So I am asking for your help. If you have somebody that you would like to nominate for Employee of the Month, Business of the Month, or Rotarian of the Month, please let me know. We need 4 weeks advance notice for the folks at Alpine Awards to make the plaque. In addition to that, if you have not done a vocational service speech in a while, I encourage you to do one. Diana has graciously volunteered to call folks and see if we can recruit a few members to do their talks. So thank you very much. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So it is my pleasure to announce today that we have a very deserving Employee of the Month, Mr. Singh, who works at Bowditch Middle School. And if I can ask Allison to come up and tell us why she has nominated him.
I wanted to introduce my guests that I brought with me and ask them to come up here. So we have today Mr. Caleb Bowers, who's the principal at Bowditch Middle School. We have Alicia Aragon. She is the union president for the classified staff for our school district. And I'll also ask Mr. Singh to join us up here. I wanted them to be here to kind of give you a little bit of information about Mr. Singh. I will briefly touch on one of the things that kind of brought the spotlight to him this year from my end. I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but in April, there was a little fire at Bowditch Middle School, and Mr. Singh heroically jumped into action and helped keep everyone safe and keep the building safe. So I wanted to nominate him for this month's award for Employee of the Month, but I will pass it on to Mr. Bowers to give a little bit more info.
Sure. So I'm Caleb Bowers, currently the principal of Ballage, longtime assistant principal. Alicia's the administrative assistant. And what's your union?
CSEA.
CSEA union president also. Yeah, she's big time. So we've worked together in the main office for like 8 years. Ravendra has worked at Ballage for 25 years. So we've been a team for many, many years. So Ravendra is always the first person there, not by choice, but he is the first person there. Alicia's the second person there, and I arrive much late. But basically, Ravendra is the school ops team lead, so he does everything from custodial work, maintenance work, safety work, pretty much keeps the school running. Yeah, and so he does a great job of that. He's very much focused on providing a safe and supportive environment for our students. Staff love him. He's the only school ops custodian person there during the day, which is changing this year, but he runs and manages everything by himself from 6 a.m. until 3. We did have last year was very interesting returning from COVID, let's just say. Several interesting things happened that never happened before. We have a small fire in the bathroom. And being a good leader, I radioed to Ravendra to go check it out. And so we had an alarm go off, or an alarm didn't go off, but we had some smoke in our courtyard. If you're familiar with Ballage, there's a courtyard where all the lockers are at. There's a bathroom in the courtyard. So there's a small fire in the bathroom, most likely set off by a human being at our school. So while we were running around trying to evacuate people, Mr. Singh went towards the bathroom to figure out what was going on. We had other, yeah, he put it out. He put it out. We had several other interesting things happened last year, which I won't bore you with, but we really appreciate him being a team player, always doing what's best and for our students and for our staff and for the community, try to keep it looking as beautiful as Ballage can, which I know is hard to do sometimes, but keeping it beautiful and keeping us safe.
I think you did great.
Oh, that's it. No one else.
Would you like to say any words, Mr. Singh?
No.
Then we have a plaque here for you.
Yes. So we have a plaque for you, and I will just read what it says here. In addition to Mr. Singh's many years of service at Bowditch Middle School on April 29th, 2022, he sprang into action when a fire broke out in the bathroom on campus. A true hero. Mr. Singh acted quickly and courageously by putting out the fire and ensuring that all students, staff, and buildings were safe. We thank you, Mr. Singh, for your dedication, hard work, and continued help with students and Bowditch Middle School. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
In front of the flag.
Yeah, I just like to thank everybody. I mean, I have never seen so many people that I don't know. But it was nice having me here, and it was great receiving something under my name. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ravindra Singh. I mean, it's really thanks to your teachers. I mean, people like that really make a difference in our community. Thank you for doing that. We have now Rich Muzzini for our scholarships.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure I'm probably tired of seeing me up here every week doing scholarships. I'm seeing the heads go down. I'm having a blast. I don't give a damn. I enjoy giving out the money to the needy students and adults, and it's all fun. I thought this would be the end of seeing me. We're supposed to have 2 adult school scholarship recipients, but we only have 1 today, so I may be on for an encore. Before I begin, I thought it'd be appropriate to give our membership a recap of our scholarship expenditures for last year, which ended in June. We gave out 14 school scholarships this last Rotary year to students from high school, community college, and adult school, totaling $29,600. We also gave out scholarships for Ryla, the Rose Garden, and the Hill Barn Conservatory for about $5,500. Totaling for total expenditure for scholarships of about $35,000. We will be rolling over $8,500 not used from this past year's account to this year's money from the endowment. So thanks to Nancy Gordon, we are in great shape for the year 22-23 Rotary year. With interest from the endowment and rollover funds, we're going to have about $48,000 in scholarship to count for next year. So again, Nancy Gordon, thank you. You're helping a lot of needy students succeed, in their dreams. Our recipient today is Susana Nunez Morales. The criteria for adult school scholarship is you must have a GPA of about 2.5. We'd like to have you some community or school leadership. You must be going on to either a trade school or college. And one of the primary concerns is also this is a need financial-based scholarship. Susanna was born in the US and attended Horrell Elementary School, now called Lead School in San Mateo. After the 3rd grade, her parents took her back to Mexico. Not unusual. I've been in schools with heavily Hispanic populations, and it's not unusual for students to be born here, go here, come here, maybe still 10 years old, and then the parents take them back, where she lived for several years. When she got back to Mexico, lo and behold, she spoke conversational Spanish, but she didn't fit in very well because she didn't know how to read or write in Spanish. She persevered and continued her education until family problems and some bureaucratic educational problems caused her to move back to this country with her aunt and uncle. Now we get in a catch-22 situation. Not unusual. Back in the States, she had to relearn English again after not speaking English for upwards of 8 to 10 years in Mexico. She persevered with taking ESL and high school diploma classes at the adult school, and I was at the graduation ceremony last Thursday. She will be attending CSM in August and plans to get her AA degree in business administration and then go on to a 4-year college. Congratulations, Susanna. Come on up here, please.
Thank you, thank you. I can't express how grateful I feel today to be with all of you, and how Mr. Richard said, yes, I have been through a lot, but I have never given up. I think everything that I have went through is worth it. Today, I want to thank all of you for being today, and my friend Alex, that he comes here with me, and my best friend. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. This is my first speech. So go easy on me. Thank you all for showing your confidence in me. I feel so, it's like a very, I'm sorry. I feel so nice and so grateful with you for showing your confidence. And I want to thank, and my mom, she's not here with me today, unfortunately, but she is one of my first motivations to be here. My 15-year-old will not believe that I'm with such wonderful people today, to be honest. But I am.
And how are you going to spend this?
Of course. In August, I'm gonna go to CSM and I'm gonna spend the money in a new laptop so I can go with self-development and my books that I'm gonna use this semester. Thank you. And today, I really want to cry. I'm sorry.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Richard, for inviting me today. And thank you for all of you.
Right here.
Go around right in front of there. And I'm come as soon as I get untangled here. And this, I'll put this there. You can hold up that. And the president's going to get in here. And we're going to do a photo op. Get your money.
Rich,
Yeah, just put it down there. I'll clean up my act.
that's fine. Susanna, you did very well for your first speech. We all get nervous. Thank you. And I want to say that for going forward for studying at CSM, beyond this scholarship, if you need any help, any mentorship, any support at all in life, you know that we are all here rooting for you. And Susanna, we wish you that you do very well beyond your scholarship, that one day you are a Rotarian and able to help somebody else, that you are able to help the next student over there. That's our wish for you. Okay, be successful. Thank you. So I will we'll have 5 minutes fellowship because we still have some time. And in the meanwhile, that will give us time to set up for our speaker today. This is the time that you can talk now and enjoy.
So Stan, tell us a little bit about your vigorous retirement program. Hey Stan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to know a little bit about your vigorous retirement program.
We're still emptying boxes. But since it includes grandchildren, it's pretty good. That's why we're here.
Are you enjoying life?
Yes.
Good.
Especially when I'm indoors.
What about that tree behind you?
Is the heat wave hitting you? I mean, or don't you notice?
Say again, what?
I said, is the heat wave that's hitting the United States, is that, influencing you?
No, it's always here.
What's going on in the meeting?
Oh, hi, Bob.
Now, we just got in from our second home in Lincoln.
Hi,
And
Bob.
I'm on a new laptop, so just getting used to it. But are they, is there a speaker going on?
They're setting up for her.
Okay. So they're setting up for her. Okay.
Rel,
Yes,
did you get my email?
I did, and I'm going to reply this afternoon. The one thing about the website, I am not in charge of only one area, and that is updating officers.
Oh, I see.
I think that's Shiraz or Mark. So
Okay,
you want to contact them, that's. who
totally.
they-
Yes, I will. I will.
Well, I'm going to get off this call in as much as Gemma is here with Andrea. And I haven't seen Gemma for a long time.
That's
So,
great, Stan. I'm glad we got to talk. Also,
Emma, do you wanna
while
say
we're
hi
all
to these
talking,
people?
I'll be off soon because I'm gonna go to the doctor. Just a
Hi.
checkup.
Hi, Gemma.
Hi.
These are my friends.
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna eat my
Nice.
lunch. So
Nice, right.
got my video.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Say bye-bye, because we're going to go. Okay.
Bye. Have fun.
We sure will.
Right.
See you,
From the
Stan.
Rotary Club for Global
Yeah,
Action.
good, Stan. Have a good time.
From the Rotary Club of Global Action, we sign off. We joined the Rotary Club for Global Action, which is part of 5150. So
Oh,
we'll be in
great.
touch. Yeah.
Is it a
Bye.
big club?
Yeah, it's growing. It just started. We're in the 20s now from people from all over the world. It's really
Great.
terrific.
Great.
We're going to work on projects and such, and work with Rotary clubs as well in all of our own communities.
Well, we miss you here.
Thank you. Thank you. I miss you
Yes.
guys too. And we'll talk soon.
Okay, right.
So Gary, are you okay? You said something about going to the doctor?
Oh, I appreciate the question. It's just a checkup. We all share. I'm age 75 and it feels like I'm going to the doctor all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to the doctor like once a week this month. And then in August, I won't be doing that much. So basically these are all questions. Excuse me, these are all checkups and I appreciate the question.
Well,
How are you doing?
I got a couple of years on you, and I can tell you that you'll have a regular regimen with your physician.
Yeah,
It's part of
very
it.
good. But no, it's like, yeah, I've been retired going on 11 years. And I just think I couldn't do this if I wasn't retired. Yeah, I go to these doctors a lot, various doctors. I'm keeping up, and I know it's a good thing. It's just sometimes it's kind of a drag, but I know it's a good thing. I'm getting the idea you feel the same way, and you're in pretty much a similar situation.
Yeah, well, the one thing that bugs me is the amount of pills I take now that I never used to.
Oh, right. Yeah, me too. So, yeah, if we're starting to talk on this stuff, I spent an hour at Walgreens in San Carlos yesterday. They were so messed up. They were supposed to automatically renew this one drug for me. And I ended up standing in line for a half hour, and then, you know, they were going to tell me to come back in an hour. Luckily, I ran into one of the pharmacist technicians that I knew a long time and pretty much told him the story, and he got things going for me. So anyway, you know, it ended up being an hour and 20 minutes or something, but finally I got it taken care of.
Well, I'm part of the VA health systems, and they just mail me automatically when my drugs are up for renewal. So
yeah,
it's a great system.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying with Walgreens here. I'm on automatic, but that one really got screwed up. Yeah, you're a veteran, Vietnam, you mean?
Vietnam. Yep.
Wow. So you had, may I ask, many tours in Vietnam, kind of thing?
I had 2 years during the Vietnam War, but I had warning orders to go. Long story, I didn't go. They canceled the orders and kept me where I was.
Good. Okay. So there we go. Where'd you do basic training?
Kansas, Fort Riley, Kansas.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Oh, good. We got the picture fixed.
Yeah, I think they're about ready to roll here. So
okay. Hey, good talking to you. We haven't really talked much. I appreciate that. We'll have to talk more.
You got it.
Very
Okay,
good.
so we are ready to start. We had quite a few announcements today, so I hope you
I gotta go.
Remember at least some of them, some of the announcements that we've had, because one of them is that Jim Goel is going to send you Sign Up Genius email tomorrow. Now, this is different. We have never done this before, but I promise you it's going to be easier to do attendance with that. If you have any issues, you can reach out to me, Curtis, Jim. So Sign Up Genius, basically, once you get the email, you just create one account over there, and then you can sign up for the whole month, whichever meetings you can attend, you can't attend. And what will happen is that if suppose you change your mind, something happens and you can't do that meeting that you signed up for, you can actually go back in because it's your account and you can change it. And then we will see it live that it's changed. The great thing about it is also that you signed up a month in advance. Now you forgot, did I sign up? Did I not? You will get an email reminder. It will show up in your calendar. So it's a great system that we can switch to. And as I said, if you have difficulties, reach out to us and we will help you do it. We're trying to simplify it because Debbie spends a lot of time calling all the members, so we are trying to reduce this labor for one person to reach out to everyone. And, hopefully we can fine tune and improve the system. So Sign Up Genius, expect that tomorrow, the email from Jim Goel, and then by hopefully if you can do it by Saturday, we don't have the head count, then Diana and Debbie will both call you on Sunday because we have to report to Crown on Monday, the head count. Okay, so if you can, would really appreciate that. And the next one was the tech fee, $20. I know we mentioned it, I think, at the previous meeting. When you get a chance, those who are on Zoom, if you can just call Debbie and then make that payment for the tech fee, that would be appreciated. And any questions about this? No questions about my announcement about Sign Up Genius? I promise you it's a very easy thing. Once you set up an account, you'll be like, oh, why didn't we do this before? So, and now for our speaker, I'm going to invite Jill Archer to come here and do the introduction.
Hi, everyone. Can you all hear? Okay. So today I'm going to welcome Nancy Glazier. And Nancy has been my neighbor, my friend, and my mentor for the last close to 30 years. We are neighbors upstairs and downstairs, and she is an amazing woman. And the reason being is she has done such great work around the world. She's a business development and business coach. She was a venture capitalist with US Venture Partners when she started her career. She has an MBA from Stanford and is part of the Stanford Seed Program, which she can tell you a little bit about. But some of her experience, and she's going to be talking about her experience here in Nairobi in a minute, but some of her experience kind of stepped back into the 90s, right after the collapse of the Soviet Union. She actually went to Russia. She was in Poland for a few years. She was in the Ukraine for a time. And there she helped entrepreneurs and folks who were looking to develop new businesses and move into a capital market situation. From there, she actually has quite a bit of experience with working in Kazakhstan and Afghanistan. She actually went to Afghanistan and lived on Bagram Air Force Base, where she also helped to develop programs to develop and launch and train entrepreneurs. So she's had such a fascinating background, and I think you'll really enjoy her presentation today. Last year, some of you know that I went to Kenya, and I joined her in Nairobi. And she actually brought me into the Kibera slums so I could get a firsthand experience of what it's like to be in that community and their needs. So she has done a terrific job with her recent efforts in sharing and co-creating and delivering a health fair within these slums. And she'll get more into how she went about developing that. So Nancy, why don't you come up?
Don't want to trip on those wires. Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me today. It's a joy to be able to talk about the work you do. And because you do it, and it becomes sort of commonplace, and then you have to sit down and say, what am I going to say? And so it was an opportunity to pull things together. This is my first in-person presentation since COVID. And so when they were asking me for a drive, I said, oh my God, where are those drives? I haven't seen them in years. I forgot how to upload the presentation on the drive, but I think it worked. Oh, so good. So anyway, as Jill said, my latest adventures have been in Africa, both West and East Africa, through the Stanford Seed Program. How many people know of the Stanford Seed Program? 2, okay, 3. Well, that's pretty good. Just briefly, Stanford was endowed with a big grant of $150 million from an alum in 2012 to create economic development programs for the developing world, starting in West Africa, in Ghana, Nigeria, the Francophone countries. And then they opened a center in East Africa, in Nairobi, and Rwanda, and all those countries in East Africa, then Southern Africa, and then India. So today there's been over 800 companies, African companies, have actually gone through the program that the Stanford Seed was set up to help, which were small and medium-sized enterprises, African first enterprises. And I happened to be hired as a volunteer coach. So I lived 1.5 years in Ghana, and my clients were in Ghana, Nigeria. I coached maybe 20 companies and for that 1.5 years. And then I moved to Kenya and I continued coaching in Kenya, small and medium-sized businesses. And while there, I was introduced to the Kibera slum. So, you know, the Stanford program was for people who had started businesses. They might be doing $500,000 to, $5 to $10 million a year and profitable.
So these were educated folks in Africa and really interesting companies. And I enjoyed that. But then when I got to Kibera, and now these are entrepreneurs who are at the bottom of the pyramid. And I must tell you, it is really a challenge to find jobs or self-employment for the people at the bottom of the pyramid, which I'll go through. So I came back to the United States in 2018, and I have started with the Whale Whale Kibra community organization. It's not an NGO, it's a small community organization of all volunteers there. And I came back here and I continued working with them. And you'll see as I go through the short presentation, COVID caused an issue. And now our soccer players, which it started off as a soccer for boys and girls league, now the young soccer players are young adults. And what happens to them? And that's the rest of the story. So I'm going to go ahead and time myself. I don't want to go over my time. So what I'm going to go through today, I put the title as Community and Economic Development because that's my background, as Jill said. I didn't want to start a nonprofit in Africa. I wanted us to become sustainable. And so there's a small group of us who fund the activities with Whale Whale Kibra. Doesn't take a lot to support the soccer program and some of the stipends that we have to give out. And my goal was always to become sustainable. And this is to help people also at this point to become self-sustaining themselves. So where and what is Kibra, which I'll go through? Why should we care? How I became involved and stayed involved. Our big June 11th fair in Kibera. What has changed for us and our new opportunity and hope, and now our partnership with an NGO called SOMO Africa. That's sort of like a Stanford Seed program, but for people in places like Kibera, which was a godsend that we found, okay? So this is an aerial picture of Kibera. How many people have heard of Kibera? It is about, oh good, and there's some, yeah. Now you all know about this. It's on Wikipedia if you want to learn more about it. It's very interesting, it has a wonderful long history, but I'll just tell you, it's about 6 to 7 generations of people who were put there by the British when it was a colony of the British. And it has grown to, next slide, to probably between 500,000 and 1 million people of all kinds of tribes, 40 different tribes. The commonality is it's poverty. This is where people come from upcountry when they come to the city looking for the big job that's not there. Or people who, just can't get themselves out of here. And this is exactly what it looks like. And what happens, you don't see people begging. Everyone is cobbling together a small business. Not very sustainable, but enough maybe for $1 a day to feed their families. So let's go next. So the government offers no soft services here. Of course, people don't pay taxes, but also there's no services. There's no electricity, no running water, no sanitation, which is unbelievable, no public schools, and medical care is poor or non-existent. So, life expectancies are short, people are sick. But when you walk through there, you don't pick that up. You pick up an energy there that's very upbeat and entrepreneurial and a community. It's a huge community. Everybody seems to know each other. So when I go there, when Jill was on her safari, I was here for the rest of the time working with our group and meeting with groups and meeting with people, and you walk through and you forget where you are. You don't realize you're in a largest urban slum in Africa. You just feel like you're meeting people that you know over the years, and you get to see and you wave, and they all ask how you are. So it just breaks down the barriers. It's amazing how you feel like they're no different from us. They just don't have opportunity. So next. Okay, I became involved, like I said, I became a part of the Stanford Seed Program in 2015, and I went to West Africa. And then I moved to into Nairobi in 2017 to continue the seed program. I just loved it because we did a lot of recruiting of companies, traveling, all the fun things. But I wanted to get to know Kibera slum because it's infamous there. Everybody says, oh, and you see it when you're driving to the airport, you look down and say, oh my God, what is that area? Oh, that's the Kibera slum. You don't want to go there. It's dangerous. Well, it wasn't dangerous at all. It was just that people are so scared when they see it. So I got to know the fellow who is a resident of the Kibera slum, Abdul Hussein, who started Whale Whale Keeper in 2016. He had been a hopeful soccer player, and he was even sent to a special high school in Kenya when he was a teenager to continue with his soccer. But unfortunately, he got hurt. His knee was ruined and his career was over. So he came back home to Kibera. He's worked with USAID on some projects and stuff, but essentially he's pretty much unemployed. He spends all his time, no salary, no funds, coaching boys and girls in Kibera. He started with about 80 kids, and now today we have over 2,000 kids. We have donations of soccer, used soccer balls. I carry over. Jill and I carried big 50-pound duffel bags of used soccer gear, including the balls that we deflate and wash and then stuff into those duffel bags. And, so everything is sort of donated and we have people carried over. If anybody's going to Kenya this next year, please let me know or Jill know, because we'll give you a duffel bag of 50 pounds, which if you could carry for us, it would be very appreciated. You can't ship things over there without spending like $1,000 a bag. So anyway, I really liked Abdul. When you back a leader who you know and trust and respect, that's everything. That's everything in business, in nonprofits, in communities. And Abdul is extraordinary. He has no university, but if he's doing an Excel spreadsheet for the budget for the year, he knows how to use Excel. He knows how to make budgets. He is very, very bright and a great leader. Everyone seems to know him in Kibera. So, like I said, Whale Whale Keeper is a community organization run by all volunteers, the coaches, everybody, referees, they're all residents and they're all volunteers. So during COVID, we had to stop playing soccer because of COVID. In fact, people in Kibera couldn't leave the slum. So anybody that had any kind of job out of the slum lost it because you just could not leave. There's horrific, I won't show them pictures of them being locked in and, people trying to get out and the police coming and, just horrific situation for them. So not many people got COVID, which is still a secret or a surprise or unknown. And, but what happened was economically, it really hurt them because now their jobs, if they had any jobs or business, went to nothing. So, we started training some of our soccer players to start distributing masks and water and food stuff to the widows and single moms in the area that we operate. And at that point, we all learned, anybody who was involved with this, that, basic healthcare is just non-existent there. And people could starve to death and nobody would blink an eye. And so we said, well, let's sponsor 25 of our best young adult soccer players to become community health workers. Remember Paul Farmer? Everybody know Paul Farmer? Yes. He just died. He started the community health workers in Haiti. And WHO embraced it. And community health workers is where you find community health workers are somewhat trained, but they're not nurses or doctors. in very poor areas around the world, including this country, in rural areas. And they're workers because they're supposed to get paid a stipend. And we thought, well, this would be a way for self-employment. You know, they'll be community health workers, they'll be getting projects. The government will pay them the $30 a month. At least it's a baseline for them. So we paid, one of my friends paid to have these 25 people trained. It's not cheap. Ministry of Health has to certify them. And we were thinking, well, this is a good path. We'll just keep getting more and more community health workers trained, and they'll have some basic livelihood. So the next slide. It was not to be. So now I'm going to segue into when I was there just a month ago. Is it a month ago? God, it feels like a year ago. A month ago, as Jill said, we co-sponsored a free health fair in Kibera with the Ministry of Health. And our community health workers were paid to work here to do this. The good news is that it was free for all the residents, and some of their diseases, hypertension, diabetes, HIV, AIDS is still there, COVID shots, diagnosis, family planning, immunizations for children. Those were all provided. We helped with my church gave a small grant, and I'm saying you can do so much with such small grants. We paid for, and also were able to co-partner with like Save the Children and some other organizations. We were able to get free medications, and we had volunteer doctors and nurses that showed up. But we organized it, Abdul, and one of the Ministry of Health young men, and us. And I took 2 interns from Maryland, 2 pharmaceutical masters people who happened to be African born, and they wanted to go and help. So we had a nice team with us. It was a big success. We had hundreds of people, and I'll show you just a few pictures. So diagnosis and free medicine provided to all. There's a little girl with her free medication. And then you can just keep going. Next one, here are people waiting to register. So we had these big white tents, and people would come in the morning, they would register, and then they would go and get diagnosed. Next. Here's somebody getting tested for hypertension. Big, big problem in Africa. Next. And here's a nurse explaining to the grannies, there's a lot of older women there. You don't see too many older men, where they're going to go next once they get registered. Next. Yeah, there's another diagnosis. Okay. And here's a little girl getting her ready to get her immunizations. A lot of children have never been, vaccinated with anything at birth. And they're measured in height and everything. Just very basic family medication is not available. Next. And here the people are lined up to pick up their free medications with their little cheat sheet, medicine that was written out by the person who tested them. And it can, just stop here in a second. So there was no pushing, no shoving. People were just, so thankful, just sitting there waiting. You can tell they're just used to waiting. Patience is the norm there, because otherwise they wouldn't have anything. But, we just saw that there was such a need. And so at least we did that. So we were very excited. That was the high point. That was after a week I was there. But then right after that, I heard that the community health workers, the government was not going to pay them the stipend. In fact, they're going to change their whole strategy and turn them into community health volunteers. Well, hello, these are the poorest people in your country. You don't make them volunteers after all that training and then say, oh, I'm sorry, you're not going to get paid. And I was just furious because we have been waiting to hear about, is it going to be $30 or $50 equivalent? And then we heard, oh, they're going to turn them into volunteers. I just had it. I said, you know, we can't change this government. We can't change how they run their healthcare. We got to do something different to make things better for them. So this is how the second week I spent with Abdul, meeting groups, NGOs there who I'd been introduced to. How can we get self-employment opportunities for our young adults? And we have, you know, lots of them, hundreds. And I actually thought of this when I lived in Africa before I came back. Somebody came from a refugee center to a conference I was at. He was a priest. He was on the board of this largest refugee center in Uganda. And he said, you know, people have to stop thinking of these as refugee centers. These are communities. We have 3 and 4 generations living in refugee centers. We got to turn them into cities. And I said, you're right. You know, you have to provide some way to make a living. People are living generation after generation. They want to work. There's just no opportunity. So I thought, well, I remember that conversation I had with him years ago. And so I thought, okay, we have to come up with, and this is the hardest business development I have to tell you I've ever had to deal with, because the options are so narrow and so difficult. First of all, they're not educated. Secondly, they've never had a job. They don't even know what a job is. You know, they've never been trained to do anything. There's no training schools. There's no, you know, but then you look around, there's a lot of businesses that could be started, like garbage collection, sanitation collection. People actually go around in wheelbarrows and pick up, you know what, and take it away and deliver water, clean water. So these are very basic need businesses. And I said, okay, let's start coming up with some business plans, you know, spreadsheet. What is it? What is it you think we can do? How much do you think you could charge? How much startup capital do you need? And we started brainstorming. And then I met a group that I'll mention in a minute, who actually trains people from Kavira to start their own businesses and provide them coaches and mentors and grants, like the Stanford Seed Program for the bigger businesses. And this woman that started it is from California. Her father went to Stanford Business School. So I went, wow, okay, I can connect with them, which I did. And we know people in common. So when I was there, I said, I'm going to come and look at your program. So next. Here's some of our, you can see they're just, right now, they're so happy and upbeat and enthusiastic young people, and with passion. And you ask them to do anything and they do it as a volunteer or paid or nothing. And I go, I don't want them to lose that. You know, they deserve the opportunity. So these are some of the people that we're working with. Next. So Soma Africa was started 10 years ago. And it is, like I said, developed to help local people in low-income areas like Kibera to create businesses that will work in their community. Like I said, delivering water, collecting garbage, collecting sanitation, this, you know, making products you could sell in the, you know, the tourist fairs, very basic businesses, and they know how to do it. And I went, you know, I think we have to partner with them. Abdul, I said, this is it. This is the way. If I lived here, I would help, but I'm not there. And they're doing a better job than I could ever do. So we're actually going to have a training orientation later this month with 15 of our best community health workers who are very interested. And they're going to send over people who were successful in Kibera. And this is why I started. This is who I was. So they can hear from people who they know and people who are coming from the same place as them. So I was so pleased to find them, because otherwise there's no other organization or no other mechanism to help them like Stanford Seed helped the larger businesses. Okay, next. So that's pretty much what our goal is at this point, is self-employment. Like I said, we want to be sustainable. We don't want to be a nonprofit. There's tons of nonprofits, but you know, I'm a business person and I feel like we have to solve our problems ourselves. And the best thing we can do is get people to be self-sufficient. Okay, next. Here we are at the health fair, June 11th, just last month. And you can see all the people in the yellow vests are the community health workers. And then we have Abdul is the third from the left. He's my hero. Jill met him. We have so much respect for him. If he weren't there, if I weren't working with him, I would have never continued because it's too hard. And if you have a great leader like him, you have to have that. He knows the community. He makes things happen. And all I do is support him and, give him resources and give him, we brainstorm, we talk every week and we Zoom as a group every week. But he is a gem. And I said, if not him, who? Oh, there it is, 20 minutes. Wow, perfect. I practiced. So anyway, that's it. So our next step is to, give scholarships to kids who are going to be attending this training, this orientation. And then it goes into an 8-week training with mentors, coaching, grants to start their own businesses from this other organization, SOMO. So I will report to Jill so she can report back to you how that is going. So there I am, advisor. And please, if you have any questions or want to contact me, feel free to, because if you're going to Kenya, let me know about those duffel bags because we really appreciate it. And so thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, Nancy, if you're not a nonprofit, what's the source of the money for the scholarships?
Well, friends and family.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
No deductions.
No, but it doesn't take a lot of money. That fair was only $2,000 for us. You could never do something for $2,000 in the United States. And it made such a difference. So that was a grant.
So Nancy, how much do you think it costs them for them to train each individual, like per person?
It'll be $100 for the 8-week with the access to grants. So, so we're having the orientation and then we'll start raising money for, just from individuals or if anybody here is interested. We try to keep it low key, otherwise you spend all your time trying to raise money. So we keep everything very simple, very direct, hardly spend anything. We try to keep it very clean.
Do you think that you'll try or Abdul will try to have like a follow-on health fair on a periodic basis?
Yes, yes.
Is that part of the plan?
Yes, we planned it in a very short time. And we could have done better, but we did it pretty good for like 4 weeks getting this together. And people just were so appreciative. And so many people showed up that we said, we'll do it again next year. And, start earlier, get more medicines donated and more volunteers. We don't need volunteers, more medicines. That was the big thing.
Okay. Larry has a question.
Do you know if anybody at Stanford is doing the same kind of thing? East Palo Alto and other areas around here?
Yes.
It's needed for the same reason.
Yes, there's a lot of organizations in the United States that help. We have vocational programs, but when you go to places like Africa, there's no option. When you go there, if it's not me, then who? No one. In East Palo Alto, because I'm very familiar with East Palo Alto nonprofits, but maybe they're not doing it the right way because I saw the Stanford Seed program and how effective it is because we're not a nonprofit, we're business people. you know, just like you go in there, you see a problem, you start training people, say, okay, let's do a quick, you know, survey to see if there's a need for this business, or what do you need? Let's get training and get it done. So I always said that we're a public-private setup. We just have some advisors who want to be engaged, mostly from the healthcare area. And it was something I thought of with this refugee center. And I said, God, if I were 20 years younger, I'd go and do it there. Because business development is business development, no matter where you are, at whatever level you are. You just have to know when to go down and keep it more simple and get to know the area and where are the opportunities for businesses. There's a lot of opportunities in Kibera, but there aren't, you know, a lot of places that can help people get started.
Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Nancy. Sorry, no, I have a speaker's gift for you.
Oh, you
just give me a
do?
minute. Yes. So, just a minute.
Okay.
So anyway, so that was a brilliant idea. I think I love that you're taking the refugee camps and converting them into communities and providing employment and training for that. That's amazing. Thank you for the work that you do. And that
Thank
took for
you.
such a small amount. That is very good.
Yes.
Very. So here is our gift for
Oh.
what Rotary is about is that we, since for 43 years, we've been doing polio vaccinations. And so we, in your honor for speaking here today, we are making a donation to the Polio Plus program.
Oh, good.
And that is
Excellent.
always matched 2-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Fabulous.
So eventually it comes to around 400 individual doses of polio
Fabulous.
vaccines, which will be given in your honor.
Fabulous.
And the other
In
thing,
Africa, in Kibera?
well,
No.
it's all Rotaries all over the world. So
I'm kidding.
one of them might be there.
Yeah.
and the other picture over here that you see, this is of our playground project, which is led by Greg Cool over here for many years. What we do is with all the Interact kids of the San Mateo High School, these are playgrounds which will otherwise be just thrown away. They're old. The kids and Greg and our team go, they refurbish it, paint it, and take it to the UROC tribe, which is kind of like that. They don't have any of these playgrounds in their schools. So we go and install it over there once it's refurbished. It's for the UROC tribe in Klamath, California.
Oh, fabulous.
So
fabulous.
this is for
Yeah,
you.
that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. So we can now step
Now
over
we can
there.
step over
Yes,
there.
and take a picture now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And now I want to thank our greeter, Gigi, and pledge, Jack Petrowski, thought of the day, Jamie Cavanero, minutes, Debbie Williams, and tech table, Melanie Maxwell and Curtis, treasurer, Larry Kavinoki. He's always over there collecting our money, making the payment. Very important job. Thank you, Larry. So I think we should give him a round of applause. And then another person who's always there, Sergeant at Arms, Ed Groy for this setup, and his assistant, Jack Petrowski. So, these are all the people that make our club work and every meeting possible. So thank you to each and every one of you. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.